Lord, well, he can have an affair with Cindy.
This is a Culture Inject production.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Season 3 of Part of Us and En Vogue Fancast. Before we get started, we wanted to ask you to follow us on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook at En Vogue Craze, and on Twitter at Part of Us Fancast. If you have any comments or questions, you can email them to us at partofusevf@gmail.com. And please review and rate our podcast anywhere podcasts are streaming.
Okay, so now we're going to get into what's new and what's trending. And En Vogue will perform at this year's Lovers and Friends in Vegas. The concert will be held May 6th at the Las Vegas Festival Grounds. And it features a star-studded lineup including Missy Elliott, Mariah Carey, Usher, Christina Aguilera, Nelly, Busta Rhymes, and Chris Brown, among others. Listeners can purchase tickets at loversandfriendsfest.com. Are any of you thinking about going?
Hell no. It is too hot in Vegas in the middle of May. Absolutely not.
Those people were passing out last time they had this. Like,
really?
It was in. So my friend went, and it's in like a. I think I don't know if it's in the same place, but the festival grounds are like concrete. It's not like a park or like, it's like hot and concrete.
It's not in the shade.
No, not a tree in sight. And I'm beyond my festival days, honey. I can't stand up for that long.
See, I was never
especially on concrete. I can't do that.
Yeah, I had one of my friends talked about going. I was like, there's no way. Like, I'm too old to be outside all day long. Ain't nowhere to sit down. It's hot as hell. It's long. Like, absolutely not. But it's a nice lineup, though. I wouldn't mind going, but they need to put that indoors somewhere. They got to find like a stadium or something to do it. Like, I don't understand why in Vegas of all places. Like,
Vegas in May, so it's going to be too hot.
Right.
And I've never been a festival person anyway, and it's all those acts in one day. So, like, how many? In theory, it looks good. I guess I don't know how it is. Is it different stages? Like,
it's different stages.
Okay. So then, there's no schedule ahead of time, so you don't know who you can actually see. Because, like, if you're going to see maybe like I've seen En Vogue so many times in concert, of course I would go to see them. But like, if I want to see Mariah and she's on at the same time as them, and then the lineup, I'm not really that impressed though. Like, where's Sharifa? Where's Petey Pablo? Where's
Petey Pablo's on there.
Oh, see, well then where's who was the ones that had that What It Is, What's Up? Where are they? Like, pull out everybody. You're pulling out all of these people that had one hit. Like, you have to pull out everybody. Where's Brooke Valentine? Is she on there?
No, but you got people.
Where are these random requests coming from, Matan?
You got people like Lil Mo and Kevin Little, and they got their fair share of the era.
They need more They should have had like all of like the one hit wonders. Like, they just come out, do one song, then jump off the stage, and then the next one comes on. Like, I want to see that. Like, give me the Z-list stage. That would be the one I'm most excited for. Like Lil Flip and all the people that only had one song. Like, have it like that. All these people.
What's that DJ that be doing the after shows after the award shows where he passed the mic?
Is it Cassidy? Right. Yeah, DJ Cassidy. I think
we gonna leave those people for DJ Cassidy's thing, because that's
okay. But I'm excited that Christina and Rona, I'm an MMC fan, so those two are going to be on the same bill. I don't know if they're going to cross paths because it's so many people, but that's kind of cool. If you're an MMC fan, that they're both on that bill. And I don't know. I'm looking at it. I guess, the fonts are different for different people. So some people I can't see. Okay, so I do see Petey Pablo now. Okay, the Diplomats. Lumity. That's good. All they needed is Nina Sky for that box.
Nina Sky would be a good addition.
But
I think it's a good lineup. Go ahead. Sorry, JP.
No, I was just wondering, like, when did festivals become so popular? Like, I don't remember until recently, like people really being excited to go to festivals. This type of event used to be like for like washed up 80s stars. You know, they get on one bill. You know what I mean? It was like, you know, the Commodores and, you know, the old school people used to be like doing their little thing. But now it seems different. Like everyone wants to go to some festival like Coachella and Rolling Loud, and it just seems like that just started being a thing over the last 5 years where it became this trending thing.
I feel like festivals, like they always had the staple ones, right? Like Coachella's been around for a while. Then like you have like Lollapalooza and some of these other ones that have been around for like decades. But I think it's lucrative as hell to like produce one event for 2 or 3 days, max out, you know, and sell as many tickets as you can. I feel like it's a money making thing. And I mean, this is Usher's event. I think Usher is the one behind Lovers and Friends. So it's new too. So I don't know. I just feel like you're right. It's like an oversaturation now of festivals because there's
like
one
it just used to be like the Essence Fest, and that was like where all the old people get together, and now it's just this, I don't know. It just seems very different that festivals have become popular with the younger crowd in particular, because like the old people always went to festivals, or at least the old people I knew.
But it seems like, I mean, honestly, like, festival aside or not, it's nice to see En Vogue on the same bill as some of these folks and not what I think they've been doing. For me. Yeah, like Missy Elliott, Mariah Carey, Usher, like these are like big folks, and so to be at the same event, that's what I want them to do more of. And you know, granted, they do their thing where they're on the same bill as New Edition or Boyz II Men or SWV. That's fine. That's what makes the money consistently. But it's nice for them to be able to dip onto this size of a stage and have the audience that's going to pull in a Usher also be like, oh yeah, En Vogue. Like it's like a thing. People will, undoubtedly people who maybe either unfamiliar or who haven't listened in a while will catch some of En Vogue. So like that's kind of nice.
And even the artists who don't, who aren't necessarily like tuned in, will probably get to, you know, schmooze and rub elbows with them, and who knows if it could lead to like, oh, let's get on a track, or let me produce this for you, or you know, or come to Christmas dinner, like, you know, it's something. But I do like it as well.
Yeah, maybe they could do a track with Lumidee. That's where that they're in.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Okay, well, wait. I have a question then. Of all the people on this flyer, who would you want them to collaborate with the most?
Mariah.
Definitely Missy. She's a songwriter, producer extraordinaire. Definitely Missy Elliott for me.
You know what I was thinking about, because I think the track that we're going to be reviewing might have changed, but the track that we were going to do was from the Amanda era. And I remember that there was this interview. You guys might not remember it, but I remember someone posted it on the En Vogue Craze when it was a Yahoo group back in the day. And Amanda was like, I think it would be a great idea if we worked with Missy Elliott. And Terry said, if we can afford her.
That part.
I do
That's the
remember
reality of it. Right.
I mean, Missy Elliott is not, I imagine she's not cheap.
Especially not back then. But all the time you're on Elektra, I'm sure they could have offset it somewhere because they were label mates. So it's just, it would never make sense to me that they never, like, even when they had the Why the Fools Fall in Love soundtrack, I know they did No Fool No More, but if they would have been like, Sylvia, we want a song with Missy too, like everyone else has a song with Missy, I'm sure they could have hooked it up. So that
they could have took wasn't Mel B on with Missy on that soundtrack?
I Want You Back, I believe.
Yeah,
was the name of the song.
And of course, I feel like, you know, there are ways to negotiate where you don't have to, like, you don't probably have to pay a person's full rate, but maybe Missy Elliott would work because she's producing the track, or because, you know, she's a partial writer or has publishing credit. Like, there are ways around it where you don't have to pay, you know, the full rate, especially if you're on the same label. But yeah, I would love for them to, you know, and I see Jagged Edge on this lineup. Maybe the Casey brothers can write a song for them.
They're in the same box as Jagged Edge. Oh, and next is on there.
So that's my issue with these flyers is this font size starts to make decisions that I don't appreciate because no shade, but I think Boyz II Men and En Vogue are on equal footing. And so the fact that Boyz II Men is all the way in the top right at a bigger font than En Vogue just makes me a little irritated. So, like, I don't know. I don't think that En Vogue should be the same size font as, like, Manny Fresh and Blackstreet, but you know.
Even Next got a whole line, like En Vogue got half a line next to JoJo, and Next got like a line and 2 equal signs on either side. Like,
I don't appreciate that.
Yeah.
But whoever is going, have fun and report back.
Yeah, please. Vegas is always a good time.
We need to start utilizing our press passes so someone can get us a ticket. I might pop in. So maybe if the ladies here, we can pop in quickly and report on their set. And
they ain't letting our shady asses anywhere near the stage.
Yes, they are. They will.
We have a job to do. We are journalists, okay?
We're legit journalists. It was funny because Max, she wrote on their Instagram she wanted comp tickets when she saw the lineup.
Oh, Max said that?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's cute.
Yes, Maxine.
Well, she's doing an event in Las Vegas too.
Oh yes, let's transition over there, shall we? So Maxine does Tina Turner. So
I detected shade from Maxine.
You took that as shade?
She's doing an event in Vegas too.
Are you saying me?
Oh my god!
Shade. Oh my god!
No, I thought it was a transition. I thought it was a really good transition. It was a perfect transition.
I appreciate the setup. But yeah, Maxine is indeed heading to Vegas. She is doing her own love letter to Tina Turner Saturday, April 8th at the Fremont Country Club in Las Vegas. There will also be a live stream option that is available. It's a full production show, so your tickets are on sale now. Should you want to, or sorry, they're on sale soon. Hopefully by the time this comes out, maybe they're on sale. And I think that could be interesting, like Max doing Tina. There's a secret wish that there's an original demo from 1987 where, speaking of Maxine, we recently stumbled upon this demo featuring Max. The song, titled Secret Wish, was written and produced by Kevin Bird. What do you think of the song and Maxine's vocals? Listeners can head over to our YouTube channel, En Vogue Craze, to hear the track. So let's talk about two things: Max doing Tina and about this track.
I think her doing Tina is actually a really, really cool opportunity. I think she has a voice for it. So that would be really, really interesting. And then, of course, Max's costume choices, I feel like it kind of goes hand in hand with Tina Turner, too. It's an interesting choice. I would love to see that show. I mean, I'm not going to Vegas, but I would love to see that show. I mean, I'll probably tune in for the streaming option, you know?
I think it's a good idea too. I remember her saying on the Rosie O'Donnell show that her two big influences were Chaka Khan and Tina Turner, and that she was able to meet Chaka, but that she hasn't yet met Tina. That was like back in the 90s. So I hope she has had the opportunity to meet Tina. But yeah, Tina has a good catalog. I think her voice suits Tina Turner. She has that rasp. Yeah. She has that grit to her voice to do Tina, and I hope she does some of the songs that people aren't expecting, like Typical Male and Don't Turn Around, which this is a covers episode, and I never knew that was a Tina Turner original written by Diane Warren that Ace of Base later did and totally flipped it into the song that was big in the 90s. So that'll be interesting. Like, it'll be interesting to see what songs. I have a Tina Turner Greatest Hits album, and there was like a Don't Turn Around, and I was like, I wonder what this song is going to be. And it was like a kind of a slower song. And so when I was, when I realized that the lyrics were the same, I was like, oh my God, like that was originally a Tina Turner song written by Diane Warren, who we've talked about on this episode. So
wow.
Tina had some good stuff in the 80s. Of course, we know Nutbush City Limits and Proud Mary and What's Love Got to Do with It. Probably We Don't Need Another Hero. But I hope she gets to do some deep cuts too. It'll be interesting to see how she puts it together. Is she going to be like kind of somewhat impersonating her? Is it, is she going to be doing the dances? Is she going to have Ikettes?
Right.
All of that. So I'm excited to see that. I'll be purchasing a ticket and supporting Miss Jones.
You're going to Vegas?
I'll buy a ticket to the stream.
Oh,
yeah,
it's
I don't
the
think I'm
stream.
going to Las Vegas
Okay.
anytime this year. Yeah, I'll watch it online. What is it at a casino or hotel?
It's at a country club.
Fremont Country Club.
I think it's exciting though that she is doing this, because I was thinking, like, if you're a member of a group, right, that you're no longer, if you were a member of a group that, you know, you're no longer a part of, and you were not like the star of the group, like, how do you sustain yourself, you know, in a way, like, how do you have a career on your own, you know what I'm saying, after 50 years old? And so I think it's really interesting that she's doing this, because there are a lot of performers who do like covers and cover bands and that type of thing, and they make a good living. And I think this is just another opportunity for Maxine to kind of figure out what her lane is, and, you know, like, where does she, you know, find her footing in the industry without being, you know, a member of En Vogue. So I'm interested, and I hope this turns into something that can really be profitable and successful for her, because I didn't realize, like, a lot of these, like, cover bands and these tribute artists, they make good money.
Oh yes, they
so
do.
If this is something that like comes together well for her, and like is a success, like, she could really be, you know, financially set for a while. So good luck. Now in regards to the demo, I think it's cute. It sounds, you know, very 80s, you know, quiet storm, slow jam type of thing.
Yeah, but she sounds good. She sounds great. Them vocals are vocalizing.
That's the thing, is like, every time we like talk about a track that's either like a demo or a rare track or something, usually like it's always the production that's always like dated or problematic. They always sound good. Like, like they gonna always sound good. And I mean, I think that's the case here, that yeah, it's very dated, but I kind of appreciate how dated it is. Like, it feels very throwback. But she sounds great.
Yeah. I mean, 1987, it's very relevant for the time, 1987. So I'm like, oh, I feel like I would imagine, like, what would happen if it was released at that time? What would it be, on a movie soundtrack, or, you know what I mean, or like a TV movie, something like that? But I feel like there would have been a place for it if it was released.
Y'all know what I'm kind of waiting for, that I hope is like, I hope happens, is, you know, we had a moment, I think, of the last couple of years where like disco was kind of being incorporated or reincorporated back into the sound, with like Kylie Minogue had a disco album, Dua Lipa, like it sort of was on a mainstream. Even Miley Cyrus, apparently her album is gonna like tap into some disco stuff. But like, I'm kind of waiting for when like 80s R&B will come, like that sort of sound of 80s, like that dated kind of thing will come back and sort of be the next thing that people catch back onto. So, because like stuff like this, I think we listen to it now and it sounds corny and dated, but everything is cyclical, right? Like, somebody, if the world's top artist did, you know, this right now, we wouldn't say that. Like, the sound would become the, you know, pervasive.
But that's kind of like,
so, I don't know
what Cuff It is, like Beyonce Cuff It. That's 80s, right?
I think, you know, I actually think so. I think so. It gives me that feeling. Well, it kind of, for me, it kind of has like a fusion of like 70s and 80s.
About Damn Time, that has like, and she describes that as like 80s R&B.
Yeah, that feels like it. But I think I'm thinking about like balladry. Yeah, like I want a torch song back on the charts. Like, yeah.
Is Purple Rain is in the 80s?
That is the 80s.
Yeah, that's
it's
the
like
80s.
84.
It's the 80s. Okay. I don't know why. I thought it was like 78. But yeah, like something like Purple Rain is like on that vein. Like, I could hear Max or somebody with her voice singing a song like about like Purple Rain. And actually, Beyonce's Alien Superstar kind of gives me like 80s vibes in certain aspects of it. I mean, obviously the production value is modernized and it's kind of fused with like a more modern contemporary sound, but there are aspects of it that reminds me of 80s. So I wouldn't mind like if more people, you know, I would imagine that more people would kind of like start duplicating that sound, or is being inspired by that sound, as much success as Renaissance has had. So shout out to you, Max. Get it, girl.
Get it. And I I did. I committed to listening to her solo records that she released recently. And I did. And it kind of reminded me of LaToya Jackson when she was starting over back in 2004. Because she had one song that was kind of like irreverent dance music, which would be Just Wanna Dance.
Yeah.
I'm getting dressed to look my best tonight. It's Friday night and I can't wait. So that was kind of like, what is it called? Not Your Freak. And then she had the Free the World, and Maxine has Colors of the World. So it was kind of parallel to me, like, you know, a mature woman going after the dance charts. And like I said the last time, I just think she's really going to have to cultivate an image more so. And it's kind of like how Janelle Monáe always wore the same thing over and over and over and over and over and over and over again until like you kind of, you know, knew who she was. Like, I feel like more artists probably should do that. I think SZA kind of does it with the hair. Like when I see SZA, her hair is always big. So like that's kind of a trademark. Like you need something to stand out. And so like I would definitely get rid of the blonde. I would get rid of the braids and try to think of something, you know, like maybe, I don't know, but just a different cut, a different color, like a silhouette that she kind of like is faithful to, or something that just makes her stand out. And then like if she's going after the dance charts. And then like I didn't really like the songs. They didn't really stick out to me, but there's this song called, I think it's called Let's Be Honest. Let's Just Be Real. That kind of reminded, Not Your Freak kind of reminded me of that. And I just wish she could have been a little bit more verbally abusive in the track, you know, like just really disrespectful to take it to the next level, and make it stand out a little bit more. So that's my critique.
That's a good critique, actually. I do agree that maybe she should like find like a niche or like a gimmick or like a branding staple. Like, you know, is it gonna be like, Maxine blue hair? Or,
no, we're not gonna do that.
Or she only wears this. Or she only wears this color. Well, she wrapped it. But you know, she only wears this color, or you know, something that like makes her stand out. As much of a chameleon as Max is when it comes to hairstyle, I think that it would be great if like her hair would be what you're saying. Maybe it's like a specific style she always wears, you know, or like a color, that kind of thing, to kind of make her stand out, to where you know, that's Max right there. You know what I mean?
I must say though, I love these images. Like, I'm a big fan of the images, like in the flyer for the Tina show, the Not Your Freak cover. Like, she is kind of dare I say that sometimes like this look kind of eclipses some of the fits that we see our other ladies in. So like, I hope she leans into that, because it is kind of, I think it makes it's a youthful approach. I like the fringe and the metallic and the thigh high boots. It's a little drag, which I think I like. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. We'll see how the evolution of Max, where it takes us.
If I was in the audience and saw her come on stage with these boots, I'd be living.
I know I was in for a show.
I would be living.
Yeah,
I would be living. Yeah.
I feel like it's just the hair or something, like to make it pop, because a lot of people do the boots and the onesie. Well, I call them onesies. I don't know what the actual name is. Maybe it's leotard. I don't know what you actually call that look.
Oh, like the bodysuit.
Yeah, the bodysuit. Everyone does those. So like, I need you to do something that makes it pop. In the braids, I actually never liked the blonde on Maxine. If you remember the BET video Soul, when they all went on, and she had on like this blue suit and she had like the black braids, like it just makes her eyes pop. Maybe it was the blue making her eyes green. I think her eyes are hazel, but like the blonde to me just kind of washes her out, because like her complexion is kind of that color, her eyes become that color, then the hair is that color. So I just feel like that is like, there's some kind of crown or tiara, or just something that makes you pop a little bit more, Max. That I think you need that. Like I said, like Sade had a very kind of vibe, so she dressed a certain kind of way. Aaliyah had she wasn't the first to do it, but she had like the baggy clothes with the midriff showing, and FK Twig, like she has her kind of little thing with the baby hairs. and those are all your birthday twins. So I just think like they're just something where it's like, okay, that's Max's look. And I think the braids, like I never even realized she always wore those braids, and just because they're not, I guess that's her signature, but it's not something that really stands out as a signature, maybe because Brandy kind of took the whole braid thing, micro braids from her. So I just need something that pops. I think that's what like a solo artist, needs. Just
I think that if Max would go back to like the short cut and maybe like make it blonde, like, just that short, like she had during, what was that, EV3, I think, when she came with like just a low cut. I think that would really stand out, because you don't see a lot of women in the entertainment industry, especially in music, really, that can really rock like the low cut. You know what I'm saying? So I think that would be a really cool way to stand out, because mostly all the women in the industry now they're all wearing the same wigs, the same bust down part in the middle.
Same lace fronts. Yeah.
Her kind of owning that short cut, I think, would be really a good way to not saying she should go bald, but I mean, like, even if you look at Black Panther, and the women wearing Dora Milaje, like how they have their signature look is that ball look, and it's very it's a statement because they got the designs in it, you know what I mean? But if Maxine, even when she had that pixie cut and Don't Let Go, I thought it was a serve. That was a serve. So I love Maxine with short hair, and maybe I know maybe she wants the long hair, but I would agree with like her having a short cut and just experimenting with different colors, not all the colors, but like her being blonde and then maybe coming like with a red, you know what I mean, or like a honey blonde. Like it would be a serve for sure. Work, Max. Well, in other EV news, Cindy's divorce is finalized. The Blast reports that Cindy and Glenn's marriage has officially been dissolved. According to legal documents filed in April of 2022, Cindy filed for divorce in LA, citing irreconcilable differences as the reason for the breakup. Documents obtained by theblast.com show that as of January the 11th, 2023, the divorce has been finalized. You can read more about their separation on The Blast if you are inclined to do so.
So there's some details in here that I think are interesting. So there's no spousal support on either side. And then, but you have to kind of report income in these things. And so I'm a little surprised at what I'm reading. I mean, I don't want to get into the numbers too bad, but it says that the Blast obtained exclusive documents that show as of January 11th, 2023, Cindy Herron is obviously a single woman. They agreed to no spousal support, and they have come to an agreement on their property. Although Cindy is not employed, she's that's what it says. Although Cindy is not employed, even though she is booked or busy, she still has a monthly source of income in the amount of $1,998.67 per month based on unemployment compensation and other income. That is a fascinating figure, isn't it? Like, I don't believe that. But I'm gonna let the courts do what the courts do.
Somebody better call the people, because somebody lying on their tax returns. Okay?
Well, I have to plug Rona's book with this now, because Rona made a good point in her book, Saving Your Souls. Everybody go out and buy it. But she said when she was very young in the industry, someone told her, like, if you want to hold on to your money, you make a company. So En Vogue has the En Vogue LLC. So all that money that they're getting for shows is probably going there so that their taxes are less. Like, that's what you do when you're rich. You hide your income, you hide your assets, because you don't want to be taxed, at this exorbitant amount. You want to put up every loss that you have. And so, when you're doing your taxes, deduction. My income is only this. I'm not being taxed. In California, what is it at? 50% if you're at a certain tax bracket. So, I know that's not her. We all know that's not her real income, but like, you read books like Rona, Saving Your Soul. Shout out to you, Rona. and you just learn certain like tricks in the industry. So like some people, she mentioned that there's somebody, every movie he makes, he has his own company, so none of the money is actually going to you, so you're not being taxed up the union, it's going to your company. If you have a company for every movie and you make like one movie, you get $20 million or whatever, you know. And then of course the way you budget it, the way you know, you pay yourself, like all of that assists you in not being taxed to death. So when I saw that, I did find it was interesting, but then I was like, okay.
So shout out to Cindy's accountant. That's what we really should be saying.
But now I hope she's not getting unemployment compensation, because I know, like, even if you have a company, I mean, that's still income. So I don't know how that would qualify you for unemployment.
Well, probably
I think that it's like full-time employment, like how you carry a salary or you know, like a contracted job. I feel like it's different than if you own a company, bring in money, but like the pay isn't steady, I guess. It's maybe the differentiator. I don't know. And
then depending on the tax filing year, if that was like the COVID year when all of the, you know, the concerts, and I don't know what else she does, like maybe she sells real estate or something, but whatever, like if like the taxes were based on the COVID year when everything was shut down, you know, you probably could apply for unemployment if, like Josh just explained, like there was like a change in income because of all the closures and everything. So, you know, like what I will say, and like if you read Rona's book and any other kind of financial book, like you have to know how to work the system, or you know, the government is going to be taking all your money. So whatever advantages you can get, you know, take advantage of them. And that's what it seems like she's doing, because she's not just making $1,000 a month.
No.
Well, I have to say though, congratulations that they were able to make a clean break, because just from reading the article, it seems like they you know, they had separate accounts, and it says that, you know, they were able to kind of split things and just make a clean break of it, which is really rare, because divorces can be like really messy, and people can really just want to hurt you, you know, when it's over. So it looks like they probably parted on good terms. You know, they were together for a very long time,
especially with the children involved. You know, you don't. The goal is for it to not be a messy situation because the children are involved. I mean, I know people want spousal support in some ways, but I like the fact it's like, let's just move on. Like, I don't want nothing from you. You don't want nothing from me. Let's just co-parent and I'll live my life or whatever. So that's why I said congratulations, Cindy, because I'm like, now she can just live, you know, without, you know, it's all dissolved, and she can just move on with her life and pick up the pieces wherever they may have fallen
and get her a new boo.
So
that's what I was about to say. Like, can you imagine Cindy dating again? Like, are we gonna see?
Fine, I can feel it.
Are we gonna see pictures of her out on a date with, you know, some superstar? Like,
I hope so. That would be good publicity.
She gonna find her a boo on the Lovers and Friends tour.
Hopefully it's not Usher or Nelly.
Let's go back to the list and say, who would you want to see Cindy date from the Lovers and Friends lineup?
Okay.
Flo Rida. Flo Rida. I want to see her with Flo Rida.
Whoever it is, it can't be one of the people that have multiple accusations of spreading herpes, so that takes off at least 2 people. Well, 3 that I see.
Oh gosh. Well, one of the guys from Boys to Men, that'll be cute. Like, what if she was with, like, you know, Wanye?
I want Cindy to have a younger man tryst with Miguel.
Oh, well, yes, I concur.
He married.
He's not. I think.
They
keep going back and forth. They're like so off and on.
They got back. They released a statement. They got back together.
Lord, well, he can have an affair with Cindy.
50 Cent.
I would be. No, you know what? She should get with Omarion.
No,
I love it because they're both so unbothered. They both have like good energy. I would be here for Omarion, like popping at her backstage,
popping and locking,
doing little dances for Cindy.
50 Cent. I would say 50 Cent for fun. And maybe she could get like a guest appearance on what is it, Power or whatever, Raising Kanan.
He got like 4 shows, yes.
Yeah. So I would say 50 Cent, and maybe he is maturing. Like kind of surprised to see him on this list with all those people because I thought he was like a billionaire. I don't think a billionaire would have to do a festival. And then like En Vogue is performing.
He ain't no billionaire.
Oh, I thought the Life Water, or what kind of water was it? Spring water?
It was Life Water.
Oh, yeah. Life Water? Okay. Yeah, I thought he was.
Or vitamin water. I thought it was vitamin water.
A vitamin water. Some kind of water. Something was in the water. Okay, so it wasn't billionaire water, though. It wasn't yacht water. It was just regular water.
I think the point being, though, we want to see Cindy out and having fun.
Happy.
And
having
living
fun.
her best life.
I want to see her in the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills.
Ooh.
Can't you see it? I can see it.
I will be here for that. I will be here for that.
I'm not mad at it, actually. We got to put a pin in that because I want to think about that and come back and talk about that. That's intriguing to me.
Can't you
Like
see
bring
it
her
though?
on
Like
as a friend of Garcelle for a little bit and
Yes.
transition her in. Ooh.
Did they? I know. Oh, they hosted that WB night, so she probably does know Garcelle. Because I don't remember them being with. I don't remember Garcelle, but I remember them with Christopher B. Duncan and Jamie Foxx when they hosted the WB night when they were on the Wayans brothers. I'm sure Garcelle knows everybody though, so I'm sure she does know Cindy.
That circle feels small, probably. So, like, I feel like everybody would know everybody. That is cute. That's a cute idea. All right, friends. So this episode we freestyled a little bit last episode and decided that we were going to pivot what was otherwise going to be a different discussion to a discussion on the imagination of an En Vogue Covers album. So before we get into what we thought, we did ask our followers on Instagram who they would want En Vogue to cover. And here are some of their choices. So some folks said a cover of Brownstone songs, a tribute to the Pointer Sisters, a female take on Boyz II Men's hits, an update to the Supremes classics. Folks said specific songs like Fantasia's Free Yourself, Rihanna's Love on the Brain, Kelly Clarkson's Love So Soft, Mary Jane Girls in My House, and generally just the Jones Girls. So those are interesting selections. Maybe some of those things found their way onto our individual cover album tracks, but let's dive in. So we want to hear each other's choices for our versions of these cover albums. So who wants to go first?
I know everyone is going to hate mine, so I know I'm going to get the least amount of votes. But, you know, sometimes you just have to be different. You have to walk down the path less traveled.
This is about your vision. This is about your creativity. So who cares? You give us an album that you want to see.
And can you, before you jump in, don't just jump into the tracks. If you have like a theme or some kind of like context to build around it, let us know what it is.
Yeah, give us your inspiration. What's the inspiration behind your covers album, Matan?
Well, thank you, gentlemen. Well, I don't have a... Well, actually, I do have a title. I would like it to be called The Bay, and the idea of it is that it's kind of like a love letter to where En Vogue originates from. I think, Champ, your parents are from the Bay Area, right?
Yeah. My parents are from San Francisco, Fillmore and Hunters Point.
Hey, so like I'm like a California native. Like I just love being from California. I think it's just an amazing state, regardless of what happens. Just so many acts have come out of California in the Bay Area specifically, and En Vogue, of course, being one of my favorite acts. So I thought the Bay is eclectic and Vogue is eclectic. Like, you can just tell Bay Area people. Like, I went to school in Southern California, but like there was a lot of people from the Bay that went there. And like when I was there, the thing was like getting hyphy and all that stuff and the stunner shades, and they were just so cool. I had never heard of Mac Dre before. I had never heard a lot of the people that they listened to that were just a big deal. Like, I knew I got 5 on it. But anyway, I could go on and on and on about the Bay, but it's a very special place. A lot of acts have come from there. That's where Cindy was born and raised. I believe Don and Maxine came maybe as teenagers. I think Don told the story about her parents divorcing and her mom going all the way across the country from Connecticut to, I think she went to maybe it wasn't Oakland, maybe it was Richmond, but somewhere in the Bay Area. Maxine, of course, is from New Jersey. She went out there when she was a teen. Terry went out when she, of course, auditioned for En Vogue, and her, Donna and Maxine, lived together in Oakland. And then when Rona joined the group, she flew out to the Bay. So there's that Bay Area connection. Okay, so that's just giving you background. So this is why I picked the album called The Bay, and it's all Bay Area covers from Bay Area artists.
I like that.
I do too. I like that a lot.
Thank you. We're probably going to hate the choices, or you probably have never heard of them, but let me get into it. So the first song I would have them do to open up the record is Whiplash by Metallica, but it's a big band version. And so instead of like the blaring guitars, it'll be like a horn section. So like trombones and trumpets, so the Whiplash. And it's the Pointer Sisters have this song. The Pointer Sisters have this song called Cloudburst, where they're doing a jazz standard and they're doing it really fast and harmonized. So I kind of want something like that, where they're harmonizing the lyrics to the song very fast, but of course there's like 3-part harmony, and then maybe some riffs where some of the guitar solos are. It's just a very upbeat song. It'll hit very hard, and I think people wouldn't be expecting it. It'll be totally left field. One, that they're doing Metallica, and two, that they made like a Metallica song big band. It's just kind of a fun song. I think it's about just somebody going crazy at like a headbanging party or something like that. But if they kind of flipped it, I think that would be so fun. And then the next song I did was I Need Somebody to Love Tonight. This song is by...
I love this song so much.
Oh, you know it!
Oh, I'm a very big Sylvester fan. Yes.
Okay.
And Patrick Cowley. I love Patrick Cowley.
Well, see, you could do the intro for the song for me. Because when I I think I want to say it's more... I didn't put it in the up-tempo category, so this will be the second track. It kind of slides into a mid-tempo groove, and I hear Rona singing lead on that one, since she has kind of the lower richer tone, and and so then it'll slide into Easy Days by the Pointer Sisters, which is a lesser known track. I don't believe it was a single. I think it was on their Steppin' album, but it's one of their 70 songs with all 4 of the ladies. I hear Terry singing lead on that one. There is a lot of harmony on that song, so maybe they could flip that a little bit, maybe speed it up a little bit, or just maybe, I don't know if they could add an extra part since it was only 3 of them, but maybe just do, or maybe they could if they layer the vocals. The 4th song that I have is an uptempo song by Tiggy Clay called The Winner Gets the Heart. And the reason I picked Tiggy Clay is because Cindy, who's the true Bay Area girl, she's born and raised in San Francisco. She did, cabaret all around the Bay Area in Berkeley. But she sang background for Tiggy Clay according to Wikipedia. So I was like, who is Tiggy Clay? I thought it was a person, but it's kind of like a group. And so I was listening to some of their stuff, and they have this really fun song called The Winner Gets the Heart. And it's kind of like this, it's from the 80s, but it kind of has this doo-wop feel, kind of put your mind in the place of An Innocent Man by Billy Joel, how he was in the 80s, but kind of making kind of doo-wop-y stuff Uptown Girl and For the Longest Time. It kind of reminded me of that, and I don't think the people in Tiggy Clay are singers. So I know with Cindy on lead and Rona and Terry on backing, they could probably do some really fun stuff with the harmonies. My 5th song is that song is up tempo. So then I wanted to kind of slide to a slower song. And this is the first kind of ballad slow tempo, which is Lights by Journey.
Okay, Journey. I
just love Stephen Perry's voice. He's one of my favorite singers. His voice just gets me so hyped, especially when he goes, and I wanna be there. It just, it gives me chills. But I think Cindy could pull him off. Whoever's producing it, they can't let her slide though, because sometimes I feel on the current stuff, they let her kind of whimper through things. Whoever did the vocals on Don't Let Go, they're making her belt. Because, you're doing Stephen Perry, you have to kind of push yourself. But it is that's one of the only songs that's actually about the Bay, when the lights go down in the city, and the sun goes down on the Bay. She's and I could even a video, it could be doesn't even have to be expensive, but just kind of showing all of the clips of her performing around the Bay Area, her on Up and Coming. There's a lot of, views of San Francisco on that show. So, like she has a connection to it. So I think that's kind of like just an emotional kind of song about where you're from. And for her to, be 6 decades in, talking about where you're from, there's just that kind of like nostalgia to it. So she, like when that song came out, she was like a pretty young thing, going on auditions, like trying to make, stardom happen for her. So I think that, that will be something special. And then it'll slide into You Just Don't Care by Santana, which is kind of like a very bluesy type of song. And I think Rona can make it even more bluesy and just kind of belt it out. And then it will go into kind of a higher tempo with Closer by Guapale.
I love that song.
Which, yeah, you heard that song?
Yeah, I always felt like that should have been a group song. Like, I never thought about En Vogue doing it, but I always thought in my mind that was a group song.
Are we talking about Guapale Closer to My Dreams?
Oh, wait, maybe I'm not thinking about that song.
Matana, what's funny is that song, when it came out, was like the graduation anthem in the Bay Area. Every single high school and middle school was playing that song at graduation. It had a chokehold on the Bay Area. So I would love to hear that, by the way. That's a great choice.
Yeah, and she's from Oakland. Like, some people got extra points on being from Oakland, so she was one of them. I think out of everybody I've gone through so far, it's just the Pointer sisters and her that are actually from Oakland. Like, everyone else is from like San Francisco or East Bay or somewhere. But she's actually born in Oakland. That song will be harmonized. Like you said, it sounds like a group song. What song were you thinking it was, JP?
I was thinking it was this other song by them called, by her called, Play. That's the song. It was called Play by Guapale.
I wanna know.
Yeah,
that's a nasty song. That's a good one.
Okay,
that's the song I was thinking about.
Have you ever heard JoJo's In the Dark?
No, I haven't.
Oh, okay. They feel similar. They're like they're very like smoky beats. Like, I don't know how to describe it, but yeah, that's
Leave,
interesting.
Get Out, JoJo.
JP. Yeah, but it was like a mixtape later when she was like an adult.
So, and then Josh, I got this one from you. You introduced me to this song.
Okay, talk about it.
So, Martha Wash, I just can't believe, like, I don't know, people are so soulful, which I don't know why, because California, we have like a great legacy of musical acts, but her voice is just so soulful. So I didn't know that she was from San Francisco. I thought she would have been from like DC or somewhere. But she's from San Francisco, California, and she has the song called Taking Away Your Space. Josh put me on to that last season, and I listen to it quite regularly now. It's just a tour de force vocal performance.
I thought it was 2 Tons of Fun. No?
Well, it is technically 2 Tons of Fun. Yeah, you are
but
right.
It's just Martha on the track.
Oh.
It's like a solo on the 2 Tons of Fun's album.
Exactly. And so I just thought that would be very wonderful if like Rona could do that. I don't know if they will add like backing or anything. But just to hear Rona sing that song, that would be phenomenal. I feel like she could take that one home. And then I slid into another slow tempo song, You're Still a Young Man by Tower of Power. And I just want the... I can't sing. I should have chance to do all of that. So you're going to kill yours when you start doing all your, your runs and stuff when you're introducing your songs. But, yeah, I think that song, like, it's a very long song, so I don't want them to do the whole song in my mind. Like, they're just gonna, like, do, like, maybe one verse in the chorus, and it's all a cappella, and, maybe just, like, do a whole lot of, like, riffs and stuff, and then, just kind of slide out. Tower of Power, they're from Oakland, so I wanted to make sure there was a lot of Oakland representation. Of course, there wasn't going to be any Keisha Cole on my list. I was listening for Tony songs, and I just didn't find one that, like, I was like, that I don't know, that to me they would fit. I listened to Club Nouveau songs and Timex Social Club songs. They just, there wasn't any that kind of stood out to me that I feel like, there will be a reason for them to do. And so I was like, well, you know what? Like, most of the songs were kind of, not shocking. So then I was like, what if they did Primus? I don't know if anyone remembers Primus from the 90s, but they're like this really kind of wacky rock band, and they like their bass, the bass always stood out to me because it would just be like dum dum dum, like I don't know, like somebody was just like sliding their fingers and like forks and knives over a bass. But they have this fun song called John the Fisherman that I think Terry would have fun doing a lead on, because according to her vocal coach, like, she likes rock music. She listens to Green Day and Blink-182. And to kind of keep the tempo up, I went with another Sylvester song. So Josh probably knows this one. And I think James Wyrick also is from the Bay Area. He's a Bay Area legend anyway. So if he's not born there, like Sylvester, he wasn't born in the Bay Area, but he came to prominence in the Bay. And so James Wyrick also came to prominence in the Bay. So paying tribute to them and keeping the party going. Don't Stop. You know that one, Josh?
I do.
Yes, I think that'll be a fun one to do. I picked Cindy to sing lead on it, and I think it'll just, get the party started. I don't think that one is known too well. Probably in like, if people just really, really, really love music. I wasn't aware of it until I actually bought the record, because I had a friend who would always sing Do You Wanna Funk with me, so it just got kind of like stuck in my ear. So I was like, well, let me buy the whole CD. So this is like an album cut. I know he's performed it live, R.I.P. Sylvester, when he was still living, but I think it's like a party song that would be really good for them to do. Like, it's pure dance music. The last song is Mirage by Tori et Moi. And that's like a little groove from last decade, I think, like it might have come out. Yeah, you have to get a little contemporary. So like, just do someone who, is current, not really up and coming, because he's been out for a while. Tori et Moi is one person. And I feel like Terry could do the song justice, and they could have a lot of fun with the harmonies that are there, maybe rearrange them a little bit. And those are my tracks. That's my Bay Area, the Bay Area album. Covers album.
I love that concept. I think that's like a really cool thing. You don't hear people do covers albums based on where they're from. That's interesting. I've never seen that before, unless y'all know.
Yeah, I like the concept. Now I don't know none of those songs, but the concept is cute.
Thank you. I'm sure I'm gonna get the least amount of votes though, but that's fine. Of course, I don't want.
I'm surprised you didn't choose like Tony
Tony doing like Let's Get Down. That seems like
my reason for not picking that song is because I feel like Let It Flow, to me, like that's why I could never really get into Let It Flow, because I felt like it was just like a knockoff of Let's Get Down. So I feel like they've already done it, but just like a knockoff instead of the actual cover.
So who wants to go next? Who's brave to go after Matans?
I'll go.
Do it.
Ooh, the surprise list. I'll go after you, JP. I'll go after you.
Okay, so the name of it, I guess I feel like it's basic now, because I feel like the Bay is such a nice, concept and name of the album. But for me, I decided to call it Legendary Divas. Kind of like a play off of Funky Divas, their biggest record. And Legendary Divas,
I like that name,
because it would be them like kind of paying tribute to some legendary women in the industry. So starting off, I picked Anime by Natalie Cole. It has this kind of throwback 70s feel to it. It's like at a nice up tempo. It came out back in, 78? It hit number 6 on the R&B charts. Just a little reference point. But from there, we would go to What Can I Do For You by LaBelle.
Hey.
And
wait, JP, who's singing? Natalie Cole. Terry got lead on that because it's Natalie, or how is it going to be?
Oh, we need to do. Okay, so I wasn't going to do the leads because in my mind, like,
you want the originals.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. In my mind, I can only really think about like the original 4. So I don't know. But for Anime, yeah, it would be Terry singing lead on that. What Can I Do For You? In my mind, it would be Dawn doing that. After What Can I Do For You, it would be You're Gonna Make Me Love Somebody Else by the Jones Girls, which is a song I can't believe hasn't been remade yet, because I think it's like an obvious, to me, that is like a smash record. It's such a good song. So I would go there.
They did it on Instagram, and Jennifer Hudson was like, "Y'all better sing" in the comments. That was cool.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Oh yeah. And I don't know, that sounds like Cindy to me. I mean, I just got divorced and I'm mad as hell about it, and you gonna make me love somebody else. Like, very inspirational.
I feel you, like whoever, like the vocal producers kind of need to push them a little bit, because you could get it out of her. I just feel like, the people who produce them have to kind of push, like whoever pushed her on Don't Let Go. Like, I had never heard her sing like that before, and I haven't really heard her sing like that after, but it was like what happens in the studio where you make somebody sing like that? Like, she really, you didn't want him running in and out of her life.
Well, you gotta make them mad. At, like Diddy made the kids go get cheesecake by foot. So I don't know. You gotta push them somehow. But
you need a vocal producer. You need a vocal producer in the booth with them. Helping them make certain choices. Be like, do this. No, do this. You need somebody like that.
Number 4 on the list is Automatic by the Pointer Sisters. And that's Maxine on lead.
Can she go that low?
I think so.
Ruth was like a tenor on that, or maybe even lower than a tenor. Like, I can't even sing, "Look what you doing to me." That is so uncomfortable for me to go all the way down there. I don't know how she did that.
But I love that song. Like, the production on that still feels, I don't want to say fresh. I don't think fresh is the right word, but it still feels interesting. Like, I feel like certain elements of the production of that song have been used in like records years since. Like, it has like this futuristic type of feel to it, which is really different for a song that came out, what was that, the 80s?
83, I think, on the Breakout album.
Yeah. So then after that, we would go and shake things up and do Meeting in the Ladies' Room by Climax.
Hey!
Because Bernadette had like the sexy spoken part, it gives me Maxine kind of talking, a la Runaway Love.
Sexy? I don't know. To me, like Bernadette, I have to leave my condo to come to this. I have to leave my condo to... Like, that makes Dawn...
I think that's sexy because, just her voice was low. Like, it gave
maybe I'm thinking about how she does it live.
I don't think I've ever seen them do it live, but...
Oh, you have to watch them when they're at the... I think it's somewhere in Washington, D.C. I think from like 2015. And they... See, I would love for En Vogue to work with Climax, like a band, like a solid band. I'm sorry, I'm just commandeering your list, but I love Climax. And I love Bernadette Cooper. Like, she is so underrated. Oh, my God.
Yeah, Bernadette Cooper. I like her. But for lead on that one, I don't know. I was torn between Terry and Dawn. Next up, we're going to take it more into the 90s with I Want You by Jody Watley.
Oh,
I picked this song specifically because this song is used on the Funky Divas interlude in the beginning. And, like they're singing it, or like Dawn is singing it before the prayer or whatever, before they have to be on stage. And I always loved, like, I never knew what that song was, like, when I would listen to the album, because I just wasn't familiar with that Jody Watley song. But ever since then, I've loved that song, and I just want to hear them do it. And it kind of sounds like a group song, because the way Jody used to perform it, it was like she had her 2 little background singers, and they used to, I don't know, it gave me very much like a group. So I Want You by Jody Watley. Then I would do Love to Love You, Baby by Donna Summer. And then after that, I would do If and When by 3 Degrees.
You better go with this list, into the list now.
Ooh.
Ooh. That's why it was a secret, okay?
We gotta take it there. And to me, that is Terry and like
I'm snapping, baby. I'm snapping.
Maxine,
it's so
Terry
good.
doing the lead part, and then Maxine doing what's the other lady? I forget the lady's name, but
yeah, but like most groups, there was like a core
Valerie. I think her name was Valerie Holiday.
Is
held it down during the most iconic era of the
I know
Three
Grace Jones in her book. If and When, okay, I'm going to listen to it.
Baby,
you gotta watch the
heard
live performance specifically.
Oh my Lord.
Like when I first saw that live performance,
and you gotta watch them perform it. Yes.
When I first saw that live performance, it was like I became obsessed with the 3 Degrees, and watching their like live shows, like vocally, they were so good. The one who used to sing lead a lot, what was her name? Sheila Ferguson. They like her tone is so clear and just
Lord.
I went
Yes.
I went down a rabbit hole,
and she sang with
like
her
being
whole
obsessed
mouth,
with the 3
honey.
Degrees. Like,
every tooth was singing.
one of the best groups I think from that era. But I think they got eclipsed kind of by, the Supremes and the whole Motown thing, because they were signed to Philadelphia International, which is like a smaller, more independent label. But anyway, after If and When, I would do something a little bit more contemporary, which is The Arms of the One Who Loves You by Escape, a Diane Warren ballad.
Mm-hmm.
Matan, what?
Of course, you're going to have them do a cover of your favorite group.
They are not my favorite group. Escape is not my favorite group, but I do appreciate the ladies of Escape, and that is
He gives them their flowers.
huh? Wait, what you say?
I said
Wait, what you say, Champ?
I said you give them their flower. I said you give them their
Well,
flowers.
I
all
mean,
the time.
you have to give our ladies their flowers, okay? And
They
be sure to
deserve
check
it.
out their new reality show on Bravo with SWV.
Oh, no. This is not a publicity moment. Oh, no.
I'm gonna spit on my tea, not on my laptop. That was a good plug. That was a good plug.
That's for your secret escape podcast on the side.
Right.
No.
I'll be watching.
But I know what you won't be watching, Candy and the Gang, because it got canceled. But back to your list,
Yeah.
JP.
Shade. But yes, Arms to the One Who Loves You, it gives me, like on that song, Latasha and Tamika sing lead, I feel like I hear Dawn and Terry on that one.
Ooh,
Next.
the duet that never happened.
Next, it would be Sending My Love by Janae.
Ooh.
Oh, I love that.
And
JP,
those, like,
you gonna make
the
me
harmonies, like, I could just hear them, like, I would want them all to
Ooh.
sing that, like, in harmony together.
Sending my love to you. Waiting to you. Oh, that's a good song. JP, you better make this list.
Then next, I would do, this is kind of random, but I felt like I could hear it. But, and actually, I kind of hear Rona on this song, but it would be All Around the World by Lisa Stanfield.
I remember when that was a new song when I was a little yay high little boy riding around in my mom's Toyota Tercel. And oh my God, that song was everywhere.
Yeah, but I could hear I could hear like a slower version, like a kind of a flipped version, not like a straight up cover, like the same type of production. But something about it being a little bit more slower and more romantic. Because this is about looking for like the love of your life. And you looking around the world. I want to hear some passion, some sultriness into it. So that's why I would get Rona to sing that part and just make it very like soulful and passionate. Next, I would do Never Ever by All Saints.
Now I'm shocked. All Saints, the British girl group.
Yes, All Saints.
Why were you dipping on
No,
my
I
list?
swear to God. That was on my list before I saw your list. I promise. And that's why I was very tickled because I was like, I think we have some.
I'm about to make
We
edits
have
to my
some
list while y'all talk.
overlapping
Keep talking.
songs. But yeah, Never Ever, because I just think that song would be really good with better vocals. I think it's a really good song, really good melody. The vocals just lack on the original, so with En Vogue, I feel like it could really be like a powerful, moment. And the last song is The Piece de Resistance. It is one of my favorite songs that I think never got the justice that it deserved. This one is like the ultimate diva ballad, Missing You by Brandy, Tamia, Gladys Knight, and Shaka Khan, which was from the Set It Off soundtrack.
What?
Yes.
Oh my, that's a great choice.
And I would love to just hear all four of the ladies on it.
I mean, even if it wasn't given its just due, I feel like it's still pretty beloved. So I feel like that's a hard one to try to cover. But yeah.
But yeah, I think Missing You is such a good song. I would love to hear, their take on it. Maybe like a string version, kind of a strip, but not completely stripped, but like a nice little, I don't know, something so you can really get into the vocals and the feel and the emotion of the song. But yeah, those are my 13 songs.
I loved it, especially like the last one. I think just what the song is about. Of course, when you think of Set It Off, you probably think of Cleo getting, lit up in that car. But in the context of them being a girl group, like, you are my sister, my strength, and my pride, yes. Like, knowing their history, like, it kind of speaks to them too. So that will be kind of a hauntingly beautiful ending to the record, especially if you got all 5 of the ladies to do it. That would be really nice.
That would be nice.
And or 6, but yeah.
Oh wait, did I say For Love to Love You Baby I would want Cindy to sing lead on that? And I know that might go against her good Christian values as a saved woman, but I want to hear her orgasming and climaxing and moaning.
Really?
Yeah.
Yes, I want to hear. That's what Donna Summer did. Like, I want to hear all that.
Well, Donna Summer had a lot of issues with that song after. She wouldn't perform it anymore.
I know. But I need Cindy to put that to the side, and she's a single woman now, and she's gotta think about Omarion and his brothers, and just love to love you, like, feel it. And between All Saints, Never Ever, it was really between that and it was or Lately by Divine. I couldn't decide which one. And this was hard because I didn't include the Supremes or any of some of the Emotions, some of my favorites, but I didn't want to do something that was like super expected, like to hear, a list of a bunch of Supremes and Martha and the Vandellas in them. So I kind of wanted to a mix of different eras and sounds. So your turn, champ.
So let me paint the picture for you. So the name of this album is called En Vogue Forever, the Covers album. So I'm thinking of a live album or like a live show where they're performing in a location like the House of Blues. So I'm thinking of that. Very much like these, I wanted to do songs where it kind of, you had songs that captured their essence, songs that were tributes, and then songs that kind of gave them a fresh sound to kind of attract, a younger audience. So the songs that I have are like a mixture. And I would love for them to work with like a great musical director like Adam Blackstone, to kind of give that really like effervescent, like live feel. So that's my vision of the whole thing. Anyways. So this whole list is curated as if I was sitting in the House of Blues watching the ladies perform, and it could be all 5 or it could be the present 3, wherever your imagination takes you. So the first on my list that will be opening the show is We Will Rock You. I thought, me thinking like, okay, if you had like a great MD, and added some harmonies, I feel like the girls could serve like a We Will Rock You type of anthem to kind of open up the show, to get the entire audience involved. And, we're all kind of up like, are they doing We Will Rock You? Like that thing. And from that song, we transition into Lady Marmalade. Kind of like marrying the rock feel with Lady Marmalade, which is an iconic song. And I had the idea that on the show, Patty can come out, and climax the song with her. obviously iconic voice. So seeing En Vogue on stage with Patti LaBelle, that would be, to me, would be pretty iconic. And then after that, transitioning into Wild Card will be One Thing by A. Marie. But in my mind, Dawn is leading this song. I feel like En Vogue doesn't really have any songs for like now. And One Thing is like such a popular song. I would be interested to kind of see like their stage presence, the choreography, the outfits, you know what I mean? Cindy with her inches, maybe Rona with a ponytail. I would love to see that type of thing. But Dawn, in my mind, her voice fits the song more than all five of them. And then from One Thing, I have them covering Remember the Time by Michael Jackson. It's really because, like, if you listen to all those harmonies of the intricate details on Remember the Time, they're so sultry, they're so, like, magical, like, I bet you remember the time, all that. I'm like, if you had, like, a music director and, like, a vocal producer kind of, like, update those harmonies to kind of fit En Vogue and kind of give them these really good harmonies, I feel like that would sound really, really good. And Rona, to me, is singing that lead, mainly. Or even Maxine, who knows? So from Remember the Time, we go into Toni Braxton's Long As I Live. Y'all know that's my song.
Oh, I think we talked about this on the show before. Yeah.
I've always said, like, whoever produced, well, I think Babyface's team produced that song for Toni Braxton, and it was taking over radio. So I'm like, whoever wrote that song, produced that song for Toni Braxton, needs to get with En Vogue and give them some new music to be radio friendly. Because when I tell you Long As I Live, I heard everywhere. Every time I turned on the radio, I think I was even doing Lyft at the time. When I was doing Lyft and had passengers, Long As I Live was always on the radio. But yeah, so that. But I would love to hear them do Long As I Live. So from that song, because the whole first 5 tracks are like kind of up-tempo dance records. They're very high energy, you know what I mean? So I'm kind of moving into like ballad territory. And so from Long As I Live, you go into Brandy's Have You Ever? I'm just thinking like the girls... imagine How Long As I Live ending, the lights go down, ladies do a quick outfit change, they come with microphones in these beautiful gowns, and they start singing the intro to Have You Ever a cappella in harmony. That, to me, would be so freaking dope. So Brandy's Have You Ever. And then this is also a wild card. From Have You Ever, they go into Leanne Womack, I Hope You Dance. Now,
that is a shift.
It's a shift, but I only said it because I don't know if you guys have ever heard this group from YouTube called Resound. It's 3 people, and they kind of went viral a lot because they do a lot of covers. Their most famous one is they did like a mashup of Disney songs and these like really, really like dope, intricate gospel harmonies. But Resound has a version of I Hope You Dance, and it sounds so good. And En Vogue is known for their harmonies, but they're known for like that old school, you know, Johnson Sisters, Pointer Sisters type of harmony. And I would love to hear them do like some more updated gospel type of harmonies with just the 3 of them. So yeah, so I actually send y'all the link so y'all can hear what I'm talking about. But if En Vogue did this version, it'll be a cert. So I Hope You Dance, Leanne Womack, and then you're going to go into Beyonce's XO, which is still kind of mellow, but it still has like an upbeat sound to it. I feel like Cindy or Rona can lead that song. XO is actually one of my favorite songs off that Beyonce album. I think it has such a good feel to it. It's very anthemic, you know, and then you can get the crowd involved. So then from XO, they will be singing Brownstone's If You Love Me. Now, I don't know why En Vogue has never covered this song, because it's such a great song. The harmonies are great. I mean, I guess some people would argue that perhaps, I mean, even Brownstone can't sing the song no more. the song is high. Like, I did this song for karaoke and when I went to Aruba, and I'm like, dang, like, this is a high song, and they got to sing this high the entire time. So it is a difficult song to sing, but I feel like En Vogue, maybe if they brought the key down, but it's very harmony heavy, so I would love to hear them do that song. And then from If You Love Me, we're going to pick up the tempo even more to do I'm So Excited.
Hey.
I really want to see the girls in bodysuits with fringe or like with crystals dangling. I want to see something I want to see Terry and Cindy in a bodysuit, you know, dancing around the stage, maybe with some dancers, maybe with some male dancers. I don't think, have we ever seen En Vogue with dancers before?
Yes.
Well, yeah, back in the day, but not recently.
Oh, yeah, we would dance before, yeah, okay, but not recently. I want to see them with some dancers. I want to see them with some male dancers, some fine male dancers, probably 4 of them, in the little pockets or whatever, like do some little cute little steps or whatever. So yeah, I'm so excited. And then lights go down, another outfit change. We go back to some ballads, and I want to hear En Vogue do Unbreak My Heart by Toni Braxton again. I don't know who can lead the song, because you need somebody who can really do that, like that ending. That, without you, I just can't go. That one, Rhoda, I feel like Rhoda can do that.
What if they flipped it and just did a harmony, like for the big note, like?
Oh, period. That would be great too. That keep going.
That could be fun.
And that's something they should have did on The Masked Singer.
Oh,
and not.
Yes.
I don't want. I'll get irritated.
The moment
with that song choice.
Yeah, but even
hearing them do something like "Unbreak My Heart" would be
that would have been good.
Hearing them do it like
that's
in
the
harmony.
song that kept "Don't Let Go" out of the #1 spot, right? "Unbreak My Heart," I believe.
"Unbreak My Heart" is like an iconic. It's an iconic ballad. I mean, Diane Warren did her big one on this song.
I don't know if this is the appropriate time, but I was reading something that talks about how the reason why Diane Warren became so popular is because like people like Clive Davis and other industry people like made it mandatory. Like they made you have to have a Diane Warren record, and because like this one producer that worked with Faith was saying how like one of his records couldn't make Faith's album because they had to put this Diane Warren song up there. It was like they kind of positioned it in a way where it was like they bullied people in the industry, like especially black artists, I should say. Like they kind of bullied these artists to kind of make them have this like pop crossover record. And sometimes she got placements over other black producers on some of those records. I thought it was really cool.
I think that was a Twitter thread. I think Craig Seymour might have did that.
Yes.
Craig Seymour. Yeah.
Yes. I think, yes. That
was a really good person to follow.
Like, wow.
Really, really good person to follow.
Yeah. I thought that was just so interesting because she, like, there were no black, you couldn't be a black female singer in the late 90s and not have a Diane Warren record. But what I didn't realize was that some of them didn't really want to do those records.
Well, that makes sense because En Vogue kind of said when they, Maxine, I remember it was Maxine who said when they got the Too Gone Too Long demo, she didn't really care for it. I don't think any of them really cared for it, so they probably were one of the acts that kind of got bullied into doing that song. And then with Why the Fools Fall in Love soundtrack, No Fool No More, like I like the song, but it's just like when you have a big song like I Don't Want to Miss a Thing that Aerosmith did, and then No Fool No More, it's just kind of like, just as the kids nowadays would say, it's just kind of mid. But then, like she gets nominated for Oscars, every so often. And so that's probably why Sylvia was like, well, if, we get you to do this soundtrack,
but don't win.
I mean, it didn't, but I'm just saying, like, they didn't know that it was going to win it, but the probability, it's probably a better probability because you have somebody. But this is very interesting to me. I did not know that. It's kind of sad too.
It's very political versus like it's about the art. It's about the authenticity of the artist. It's like, oh, we want you to do a crossover. Diane Warren is the best option, so we need to put you on white radio too. So do the song. It's very political. Although these songs are iconic, but it's very political.
And also, I didn't realize though. This is so off topic, but I didn't realize that for some of the black artists that did those Diane Warren songs, like to get them to cross over at radio, they wouldn't even like put their face on like the single cover. it would be like some random picture. Like, for example, like for Escapes, The Arms of the One Who Loves You, they're not even on the cover of that single. It's like 4 microphones. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And so like, I was like, it was just so fascinating hearing kind of like, I always thought people loved Diane, or I always just respect her because she was such like a known writer, but hearing how, you know, they kind of made people work with her or whatever, for whatever reason, I just thought that's so interesting.
Very interesting.
But beautiful songs, nonetheless.
Beautiful songs. Beautiful gowns. So from Unbreak My Heart, I'm continuing with the ballad, but more modern take, and I chose Danny D. Kane's Ride For You. Yeah. Okay. Well, Ride For You is actually one of my favorite Danny D. Kane songs. I feel like Brian Michael Cox, he did his big one on the song. That piano intro is so intoxicating. And then to kind of hear, well, we kind of heard En Vogue do like modern R&B with Rocket, but I feel like this song, it has such a like poetic rhythm to it. Lately, I've been trying to find whatever pulling aside that. Like that, I'm like, I want to hear Cindy or even Terry even running like
I can really hear
yeah,
Rose.
Lord
for
knows
sure.
I can't stand the way Aubrey says lately.
Yeah, she sings like in a weird way with her mouth. It's really, really weird. But yeah.
You can't tell that lady she can't sing.
Okay. She did a song with Tadra Hall recently, and I didn't think she sounded good at all. And she also has a new single out, and I don't think she sounds good either. But
well, she's in a transitional period in her life.
because she got an OnlyFans too.
Oh wow, this is the OnlyFans Diane Warren
Times is hard.
episode. OnlyFans and Diane Warren.
Okay. So from Ride For You,
That's the name of the episode. OnlyFans and Diane Warren. That's gotta be yes.
That's the name of this episode. Covers OnlyFans and Diane Warren. So from Ride For You, we're kind of staying mellow, and I have Fix You by Coldplay.
Ooh.
I love that song.
Yeah. Coldplay, Fix You is such a great song, and it's such a
What's it called?
Fix You. Lights will guide you home. I will try to fix you. Yeah, I feel like that's one song that's one like white song that a lot of black people love, because and then it's such an anthemic song. Like if you ever watch a Coldplay live performance, the entire stadium is singing that song. Like it's a very like community type of vocal, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, so Fix You by Coldplay. And then from there, we're going to kind of pick up the pace, and I have Queen by Janelle Monáe. I love Janelle Monáe, and the song is real funky, it's real modern. But funny thing is, Erykah Badu is featured on that song. So I thought it would be cool. Like imagine you see the three present members singing that song, and then when it gets Erykah Badu's part, Maxine walks on stage and she does that Erykah Badu's part, because it very much sounds like Maxine, that one part. Play that part, Matt, so we can hear. But yeah, so Maxine come on that part, and then when we get to Janelle's part where she's rapping, I thought it would be cool if Dawn came out and rapped that part, because Dawn is the one that rapped on which album was it? Was it Funky Divas or was it Born to Sing?
Funky Divas.
But I thought it would be kind of cool to like bring Maxine and Dawn out, but that's just my imagination. But yeah, Queen by Janelle Monáe, and then this is
we're gonna speak that into existence.
And then this is another wild card. From Queen, you go into a song by the Coors called "Breathless." You know that song?
Leave Me Breathless.
Go on, yeah. Come on, leave me.
Who also
breathless.
competed on The Masked Singer.
Oh wow.
Yes. But it's a very stripped country song, but I feel like with the right musical direction, with some added harmonies, I feel like it can be updated to fit En Vogue's aesthetic and give them something new to do as well. And then from Breathless, the last song on this album is a dance track. You guys probably don't even know the song, because it's such a newer artist, but his name is Vincent. He competed on the floor. He has a song called Higher. And so I'm like, I feel like En Vogue needs a dance track. And this song is just very like vibrant. It's very high energy. It's very soulful vocals, and it has great harmonies. So I feel like it would be a great thing to end the show on this note. So Vincent, higher. And that is my En Vogue Forever, the covers album.
I actually just put that on a playlist. I put that song on a playlist yesterday. That's really good.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like he's a good answer to Tasha Call. You know, because the people ain't here for good old Toddy no more.
I love Toddy.
I do too. He is talented. I had to kind of do like a re-up of like his newer stuff. So yeah, there's my list.
Okay, a live covers album. That's hot.
We are all approaching it from very different perspectives because Champ literally has creative directed the entire show.
The entire show.
Down to the outfits and where the changes will happen. Yes, I live.
I actually think a live covers album will probably be the easiest to execute. You know what I mean? Like, compared to the others.
And we don't have to worry about the producers, really. We just need a good MD.
Exactly. Like a good MD with a great band who knows how to transition. And I mean, Adam Blackstone is like a legend in this game. He's actually MDing the Grammys this Sunday. But he just knows. So yeah.
Do you guys like the En Vogue live album that is out? Live from Alabama.
I like Cindy doing Free.
Oh, with that awful Photoshop.
It's just, for me, it starts and ends with Cindy doing Free by Denise Williams. That's pretty. Oh, well, and Terry doing Just Can't Stay Away. That's it. The rest of it, it can stay where it's at. And where that is, no one knows.
But yeah, I think them doing a new live album is definitely important. But yeah, go ahead, Josh.
Take us home, Josh.
So I've been tweaking a little bit because
somebody was poaching your list.
We got some.
Don't be trying to go last. Don't be trying to go last.
It's I will note where there was consistency, but I have pivoted a bit. I think I mentioned on the last episode when we were talking about this, and the idea came for this episode that I was a really big fan of an album by Natalie Imbruglia called Male, where she just called it Male, and she did all covers of songs that were traditionally done by men through the lens of a woman. But anyway, so I just called this album Girl as a nod to girl groups. And so it's kind of a weird mix of both like the hits from some really obvious on the nose hits from girl groups, but also some like deep cuts and maybe some girl groups that people aren't familiar with. I think that's like my favorite listening experience when it comes to a covers album, is when it's a mix of things I can expect and maybe might feel a little bit more traditional, but also things I didn't expect or songs I just didn't know at all. So yeah, that's where I kind of went with it. My first song was You Gonna Make Me Love Somebody Else by the Jones Girls, but then I flipped it to Nights Over Egypt by the Jones Girls because I still think the Jones Girls have a ridiculous approach to harmony that I think En Vogue would just have a really fun time with. But I imagined like an updated version of Nights Over Egypt that was maybe like more house feeling, like deep soulful kind of house music that could take its time. Like I want 8 minutes of Nights Over Egypt. And I just think the backgrounds on that could be kind of insane. So that's where I wanted to start it. And then I went a little contemporary and included one of my favorite songs during the pandemic, which was Ungodly Hour by Chloe and Halle.
Yes.
Which I think could really actually benefit from having more harmony on it, especially like a third person. So I think that song could be richer and more interesting. And it feels like, because I'm like a sequencing kind of girl. So the house part from Nights Over Egypt, I think, would transition into the similarly kind of housey vibe of Ungodly Hour. So then I take us on a left turn to The Good Girls, Your Sweetness, which is a song I just kind of love. And I think it's high energy.
Your sweetness.
And
My weakness.
similarly could use a better vocal.
Shout out to the LA girls. And did you see them on like this? I Was a Soul Train Dancer, and they said like originally their name was going to be Vogue.
No, I didn't see that. Is that the BET series?
It's on like YouTube. Like YouTube has a series of interviews with Soul Train or former Soul Train dancers, and I never knew they were Soul Train dancers. But I think they all went to Westchester, so they're probably stuck up. You know, that's the stereotype of Westchester girls from the 80s, and you know the 80s they're probably really stuck up. But yeah, they were Soul Train dancers, and their name was going to be Vogue. And it's so funny because like I remember them before they came out before En Vogue, if I remember correctly. They were out before En Vogue, I remember, and I had like a signed picture because they're LA girls. My mom met them somehow in their Catholic schoolgirl uniforms with the sweaters, and then Vogue just came and blew them out of the water.
Sorry, ladies. But En Vogue, I want them to come and take your song now too. So Your Sweetness is just so energetic to me, and I think it's a lot of fun. And I would be interested to see how En Vogue would reimagine that. So this is kind of my like 80s girl group moment of the album, because I actually would transition them into Makeup by Vanity 6, which I think is a weird choice, but because it's largely a spoken track, because Vanity 6 wasn't quite the vocal acrobats. But I could really imagine. There's also a really fun version of it by Jonte, the choreographer that Beyonce used for Freakum Dress.
I love that version. I love that version.
But I can imagine some ridiculous harmony things happening in the background, or it's like crazy vocal things happening while the things are being spoken. So anyway, I just think that's like a fun detour. And then I went to Shadow Lover by Mary Jane Girls. I just wanted something that felt girl group adjacent, but was maybe was a slower, more ballady kind of approach. And I just really love that Mary Jane Girls album. I am keeping Never Ever on my track list by All Saints. I too, when I heard it, I was like, ooh, these were kind of struggle vocals a little bit, but there's like the essence of the song, I could just hear like even the verses of like my head spin. I could hear Cindy doing it. So, there's just a lot of moments in that song that I think would be fun to play around with. I transitioned that into Use Your Heart by SWV, just because I think I want to hear more slow jam kind of songs out of En Vogue. And I think SWV just is an amazing song.
Who's going to do Taj's part? That's my question. That's my favorite part of the song.
I would give it to Rona. I think I would give it to Rona. If we were talking about the current lineup, I would, because I imagine this with the three ladies now. I didn't sort of take into account any of the other ladies. So I think Rona would fit it the best.
I think she's the only one who could do it. Like, no one's voice is really that low, naturally, besides hers.
Yeah. Then I moved us back over across the pond to the Sugar Babes, and they have a ballad from the early 2000s called Too Lost in You that I really love. It builds in a crazy way. It's like
Sugar Babes.
And I think it could be really fun to listen to a pop ballad, like a really pop ballad, get done by En Vogue. Then I move us back over here to The Emotions, Don't Ask My Neighbors.
Hey.
Just because that's such a good freaking song. Like every version of that song is good. Like every version. Because there's a lot of versions of that song. There's Emotions got one. Obviously, Tisha Campbell and Tashina Arnold got their version. I think Nancy Wilson had a version. It's a lot of versions of that song.
Do you know who did that song? Who wrote it? Was it Maurice?
I don't.
Okay. I'll look it up.
I have to look that up. It probably was though, because that was like that era. I think they were exclusively with Maurice at the time. I went from there to I added this as a late addition, but I added Not Ready to Make Nice by the Chicks, which formerly known as the Dixie Chicks. I think that could be a country moment, but like that was their kind of not so country moment, but I still think it would be a interesting take to explore.
I can hear Terry on that.
I could definitely hear Terry on that. Yeah. And then I also included LaBelle, but I included one of my favorite songs, which is called You Turn Me On. It is like a torchy, big ass vocal moment. And it's also like pretty sexual in its connotation because literally
she talks about men in like the pouring
the chorus
rain
is I come like the pouring rain each time you call my name. It's good. It's good what you're doing. It's good. Yeah. It's a big song.
Lady Marmalade was about a streetwalker.
It was about a streetwalker. She wasn't the streetwalker in the song though. Like that could be I mean, I'm not a prude or anything. I'm just shocked that Patricia Holt was singing about being moist and very moist.
So that would be up for me. And then I did a mashup of Inseparable by Natalie Cole, which would, because of the sample, would transition into If by Destiny's Child.
Ooh,
which is a standout track on what I think is one of the best Destiny Child albums, Destiny Fulfilled.
100%.
I also included Janae, but I included a deep cut called Love Me Today. It is a beautiful ballad, like stunning ballad. Actually, all of Janae's that whole first album is just like start to finish stunning. So I included that. Because I'm a Spice Girls fan, I had to throw in some Spice Girls. So I wanted to do another ballad moment with Two Become One.
I love that song. Those strings. Oh my God.
Yes, it's like strings and like it's
Two Become One is a great song. It really is a great song.
And also sexual.
But it's a good innuendo. I like how they did that. You know, that video, like that's probably like a moment where like, because I know like people look at them as caricatures, but like you cannot take that away from them. They were like a serious act there. Like that song is just I still listen to that song every now and then.
It's the ending for me. It's that when the band is like breaking down at the end.
Oh yeah,
they be going off. Yes.
Yeah, they like in the live versions of it, the band would go even harder on that part, and it was really dramatic, like really dramatic. So yeah, and then I included as the last track an a cappella version of Will You Still Love Me Tomorrow by the Shirelles.
Yay!
And I had a bonus track because I thought about this after the fact, but I thought it would be interesting to maybe as like a hidden track, bonus track, whatever, they would do Our Lips Are Sealed by the Go-Go's. And that is my album. So folks, listeners now, so you've heard our albums. Listeners can now vote for their favorite track listing by casting their vote at the link that will be in our show notes. So if you're listening on a podcast platform, check out the show notes. If you're on YouTube listening, check out the description. And we will be posting the link also on Instagram and Twitter. You can also send your thoughts and your favorite albums by email at partofusevf@gmail.com, or you can leave a comment on the YouTube video below. We'll share the results on our next episode. May the best host win. Okay, so on to submitted letters. So a question was submitted to us last year from someone. We are so sorry, but we did not remember who submitted this to us. It may have come from Twitter, but the questions are: what new girl groups do you see being a good successor to En Vogue? And what would you like to see from En Vogue in 2023?
Well, I think all the successors to En Vogue have already been out at this point. Like, the successors were Destiny's Child and 702 and, whoever else was out back in the day. At this point, I don't think there really aren't any girl groups that are really doing much or bringing much to the table. I don't think people want to be in groups anymore. I think it's all about kind of individual attention.
And just to paraphrase Nene, like the people in girl groups nowadays, they're starless.
Yeah.
There are no stars in the group. Yeah.
I mean, at the moment, I do feel as if the group Flow are really storming the scene. They have a show out here in LA and it's sold out, but I'm just saying, like, for them to be a UK group and have such a huge reception with no album and with not a lot of like mainstream like performances, whatever, like they're still fairly new. So the fact that they have a sold out show out here in LA and in other cities out here in America is kind of cool for them. But yeah, I'm a fan of them. I think Flo is doing a really good job to be an R&B group. Like their sound is very 90s nostalgia. And whoever is their producer, baby, all of their live performances are so well.
Oh, you know who vocal arranges for them?
Who?
You know MNEK?
Yeah.
I think he's the one that's doing. He had the song "Never Forget You" with Zara Larsson. It was like a pop song.
No,
well, I'm gonna tell you this. I am consistently underwhelmed by Flo. I feel like they sound terrible. The songs are boring, underproduced. I saw a performance of them from I think it was the Mobile Awards.
Oh, that's not the performance to watch. They were off.
Sound
it was an off performance.
No.
You are as good as your last performance. It's one thing to be but see, here's the thing. The Mobile Awards is like live. You got one shot to do that versus these other performances that I've seen of them where it's just them in a studio somewhere singing. You can record that 100 times until you get it right. What we saw on that stage, I think at the Mobile Awards is very indicative of who they are, and that is underwhelming. I do not see it for them at all.
I disagree. I see it for them very much so. I think they're great. Their EP is so good. I literally can't listen to the entire thing all the way through. And then they have a performance of "Not My Job." It's not my job to make it feel comfortable. That song is so good. I mean, like, I listen to that thing over and over and over. Like, they're really good. But other than that, most of the girl groups that have come into existence have not lasted.
So,
what would you like to see from En Vogue? What's the second part of the question? I would just say everything: movies, music videos, fashion spreads, hit songs. It might not be realistic, but that's what I would like to see.
Yeah, it's not.
I would like to see a reunion in 2023.
100%. Period.
I just think that they should be focusing on like legacy building in 2023.
I agree.
Like, what is the next level of legacy for En Vogue look like? To literally like solidify in the same way that we've seen other groups and other singers get Soul Train awards, this award, whatever. We have to figure out how these ladies can be seen as the historic group that they are.
And better merchandise.
Agreed.
As soon as they had that reunion, I think it could happen.
Now we're going to get into the next letter from Romello, our boy Romello. Hey y'all, it's your boy Romello.
Hey, Romello.
Hi, Romello. Here are some songs Evie should cover. Amy Stewart, Knock on Wood, which is a cover, interestingly enough. Cover Girls, What a Pun. Funk Boutique, Cover Girls, Wishing on a Star, which is also a cover of Rolls Royce. Deborah Cox, Absolutely Not. Destiny's Child, Cater to You.
I like that song.
Absolutely Not. I've never heard that, but that's one of my favorite phrases. Absolutely not.
Should I wear my hair in ponytails?
People use that on Twitter a lot as a meme too. She has a performance where she's performing Absolutely Not, and people will use it over and over and over again.
Okay, Destiny's Child, Cater to You. Destiny's Child, Girl. Destiny's Child, Romello, I Lose My Breath. Oh, that's all the Destiny's Child. No more Destiny's Child, Romello. Expose, Point of No Return. New Shoes, I Can't Wait. Ooh, a 3 Degrees song, 3 Degrees. Wait, no, not 3 Degrees. 3 Days Grace.
No,
Look at me, not being able to read. 3 Days Grace, Never Too Late. I'm going to have to, YouTube that one, Romello. Thank you so much for your Destiny's Child covers album.
Those are good choices, Marilla. Thank you. And our next and last letter comes from email by AW. And he says, Hey, fellow fan clubbers, I'll make the first list short and concise, and we'll follow up with the second. Okay, girl. Yes, later, because I'm still amazed that others sit and can pontificate upon En Vogue with such admiration as myself. Okay. Here are his choices for
Wait a minute, I think we're skipping a part of the letter.
We are, child. Okay, he says. AW says,
I'm
gonna do it. He says, I'm still amazed that others sit and can pontificate, great word, upon En Vogue with such admiration as myself. Yeah, quit about D-Girl, not cool. You're another Dawn fan, great.
But you're not the boss of us. Please.
You will pay for your crimes. The Dawn fans are not going to... We are not taking it anymore.
Oh, the shade, the tea. It's that meme from Housewives of Orange County, where she's like, "It's my opinion." That's what I say to that. So continues with the letter. They already recorded the covers. It just needs to be compiled and marketed. Yeah. So the choices that AW has chosen is Rocksteady. And W has also chosen the leads for these songs as well.
Well, they've already done them. It's a compilation.
These are songs they've already done. Like Dawn already did.
Well, Rona is at least doing one song. Thank you for giving her some scraps, AW. But so Rocksteady, Dawn, Flowers, Cindy, It's You That I Need, Terry. What is this song?
What is that?
GHSHCF. I don't know what that song
Giving him something he can feel.
Oh, Dawn. Well, that's already on the album. What can
that's
I
what
do?
He's
That's
saying.
what's being said.
That
it's like they already recorded the covers. We just need to compile it.
So this is no creativity, nothing, just a compilation. Okay.
Oh, I thought that they were giving us ideas. Oh, these are just songs that they were already covered. Oh, great. Well, I don't want. If they've already covered it,
It's You That I Need by Terry. What is that?
What is what?
It's
from Terry's solo album.
It's You That I Need.
It's You That I Need. Won't Come Home or something like that. It's from Southern Girl.
But who's the original? Like who?
It's a male group. I want to say Enchantment.
Right.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna just keep going. The other song that covers What Can I Do, Proud Mary, Tell Me Something Good, Heard It Through the Grapevine, and Respect, Square Biz, Our House, Just Can't Stay Away, Best of My Love, Lady Marmalade, which is on my covers list, How Deep Is Your Love, I'm Your Baby Tonight, and To Be Real. I've actually never heard Rona cover I'm Your Baby Tonight, but I would love to hear it.
I'll send you the link.
By the way, the end of the okay, please. By the way, the end of the show had me hollering and rolling on the floor, cleaning, cooking, buddy up. That part of the episode had me on the floor too. Y'all way too hard on that song, Terry Merckx. I love when she can croon in her light and airy chill range and sing them notes. True also, that's my only critique about Amanda, though she was a good replacement for Dawn, and if you squinted, you would get the two confused. However, she didn't add her own style, and to me, tries way too hard to sound way too much like Terry, in my honest opinion. Later. Well, thank you, AW, for your contribution to the episode. Don't take our shade too literally. You know, we're all just friends.
And they will start going easy on Dawn. They will. We're working on it.
I said that on the YouTube. We are working on it. We don't want to feel like we're dogpiling and like we're just being biased, because we do love Dawn, just not a lot of her choices.
If we get a sponsorship, maybe, people can tell us what to do. We'll start thinking about editing ourselves. But, other than that, enjoy the show.
Thank you, AW, for your
Cut
letter.
the check and we can adjust.
Thanks for listening.
Okay, now we're getting into rare tracks. The song of the day is Never Stop, Terry featuring N.J. Brasco, a rapper producer from France.
Don't you ever stop. This is what I'm about. Baby, share my world. Now that I'm your girl. Don't you ever stop. This is what I'm about.
song was marketed as En Vogue featuring NJ, but it's solely Terry on the track. Denzel Foster confirmed this in The Craze. And there's also a behind-the-scenes video of the recording session showing Terry alone recording the song. YouTube has a video credited to K2 Rhythm, Willie Denzi, and En Vogue showing a porcine rapper and Delaki in various states of stereotypical rap behavior from the noughties, a random shopping trip to Macy's, a wife beater. Surprisingly, there were no cornrows with wooden beads. There are a couple of versions of this song floating. Do we know what multiple versions were produced? Do we think Terry knew that this would be marketed as an En Vogue collaboration?
Don't ask me.
Wait, does this mean typical rap behavior from the 90s?
The noughties, that's the 2000s.
Oh, that's the thing? Oh.
And they're coming back.
Yeah, the knots.
I'll say about this, I didn't like the song. Of course, that's no surprise. But what I really don't like is kind of like it being credited to En Vogue, because at this point it's like you're littering their discography now, and it's only one person on the track, and it's the person who's always like, oh, we have all of this integrity and we don't ride the bandwagon and all this stuff, but then you make a song talking about this is what I'm about. Oh, you bout it and ride it. You make this song that's like what was out at the time, but it's like you're too good to work out with the people that are making that stuff contemporary, but then your producer that you always work with makes a song that's kind of mocking that, and you have no problem doing it. Like, it's just a little hypocritical to me, because like all this time, if you wanted to do hip hop, you could have been working with hip hop producers, but it's like, oh, well, we have integrity and we're just not gonna follow the popular wave. But then that's what you do here, I guess, when you were in, when I guess the group wasn't together and then you credit it as En Vogue, that kind of bothers me. I don't like that. Like, if it's only one person, it's not En Vogue. And like, now they can say that maybe they didn't know, but if Denzel Foster's involved, because I'm guessing maybe he produced the record, they knew how it was going to be credited. That is not cool to me.
And it's just not a great song.
This is what I'm about. Like, come on.
Terry, per usual, sounds wonderful, but the song as a whole is very, it is prime 2006, 2007, like, it's just not, it's not great.
I actually thought that the production was interesting. Like, it was interesting hearing Terry on something that reminded me of, like, it kind of gave me like bootleg Dark Child production vibes. So it was kind of interesting hearing her on something, I guess, a little bit more
contemporary.
What's the word?
At the time?
Current? I don't know. Current. Contemporary,
But that's what I'm saying.
But do you think they would turn down the
we just talked about
the
last episode they did. And then this is like I'm not going to get into this too much because, we've gone over, but like, that's what I don't like about it. Like, one person is not involved. Like, that should never, ever happen. Like, everyone else, they've stood on their own as members of En Vogue. Like, Cindy, she's made songs during this period, and it was Cindy Herron. Can You Feel the Rain? What was the other one? Like, they weren't particularly good songs, but it was still credited to Cindy Herron. It wasn't her trying to use the En Vogue name. So this to me seems like a clear example of somebody trying to use the En Vogue name, and I don't like that, because if the other people can't do that as solo artists, you can't do that either.
I agree, because the same thing would happen with Pussycat Dolls, where it was obviously Nicole Scherzinger featuring on that song, but they would say, oh, Pussycat Dolls, but the other girls would just be like background dancers. Like when they collaborated on that Slumdog Millionaire song, Jaya Ho, it's like, well, that's just Nicole. So why don't you say Nicole is featured on there, but you're trying to market it as a Pussycat Dolls song because they're the bigger name.
But that being said, though, I don't think that they would not have been able to get away with doing that unless they had permission to do so, especially like the legal aspect. I feel like if En Vogue didn't give permission for that, they would have corrected it. Like,
But maybe also because these people are international. Like, I know copyright a lot of times internationally is different. So these people, I think one of them is like a Tunisian and one of them, I think they're all based out of France though. But so maybe the copyright things are different there. But it's still like, even if like, regardless of the legal ramifications, it's not the group. So now I could give you the benefit of the doubt and say maybe because it was France, like the French artists were like, okay, yeah, it's Terry Ellis, but we want to use the En Vogue name, so we'll do that. But if it happened another way and you're using the group's name because, like, you know, I guess you needed to be in the studio because maybe Cindy was on maternity leave. This is 2006. Maybe you're on a break. I don't like that. I don't. Like, you can stand on your own as an artist. Like, Maxine had to do it. Don had to do it. Cindy did it. You've done it before. You know, don't use the group name for when it's only one person.
Well, folks, that is a wrap on another episode of Part of Us. Stream Part of Us on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, YouTube, and most other podcasting apps and platforms. For more En Vogue related content, find us on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram at En Vogue Craze, and on Twitter at Part of Us Fancast. If you have ideas, interview requests, comments, or questions, definitely those interview requests. We want to talk to people. Email them to us at partofusevf@gmail.com. And until next time,
Bye.
see y'all later.
Bye. Thanks for listening.
Bye.
This episode of Part of Us at En Vogue Fancast was researched, written, produced, and edited by Matthew at Culture Inject Productions. The intro and outro music was produced by Wolves and Vincent Tone. We're more than just a podcast, we're a fan community. You can keep up to date on En Vogue and chat with other fans by visiting En Vogue Craze on Facebook. You can also follow us on YouTube and Instagram at En Vogue Craze and Twitter at Part of Us Fancast. Part of Us and En Vogue Fancast is not endorsed by En Vogue, E1 Music, or En Vogue Records, and is intended for entertainment and educational purposes only. En Vogue and its names, images, and audio clips are registered trademarks and/or copyrights of their respective copyright holders.
I'm here for Cindy dating Omarion and Terry dating Omarion's brother Orion.
Not Orion.
OnlyFans, Orion.
Not OnlyFans, Orion.
Oh my God, I totally forgot about that.
But then again, Terry deserves to have a good time. Go for it, girl.
As long as I don't see Terry on the OnlyFans, that's all I know.
Maybe she can date the other brother. She can date the other brother.
Nobody.
I forgot his name, but he fine too, and he's like a fitness influencer child. Them three together, that's a fine family. Okay,
All aboard.
Tickets, please.
I like a round trip. Thank you.
Okay.
I think it's interesting that you think all saints are legendary divas.
No, wait a minute. I mean, legendary is, you know, it's a word that you know, it's often exaggerated, like iconic.
Okay. Oh, that's how Escape made it on. Okay.
Ooh,
Okay.
oh, no, wait a minute.
Body up, body up.